to the complaints against the police by DC 4242 Tracy Coleman, a paedophile ring member. Watch out for her. She'll plant drugs in your flat, steal your DNA, and try and set you up as a rapist as well, or a paedophile. DI 1751 John Gray, PS 923 Paul Keir, PC 1376 Davy Rollins, DC 4142 Emmy Thresh, PC 352 Ian McGrath, PC 1853 James Berridge, PC 954 John Scott, and PS 224 224 Jake Margiotti. Straight away it lies. They twist everything you say. Twist all your complaints. 21st October 2014, a police car had followed him into Tesco's. It wasn't, it was the fucking 2nd of October, as you know. Twisting complaints. 22nd of July. Again, wrong date. PC Berridge left his property insecure. I can prove that. PC Berridge cut the chain on us. That was actually Leicestershire police I put down my complaint, not just PC Berridge. I tried to twist things. When he was interviewed by DC 4142 Thresh and Rollins, was shown black and white photos of a generator that was clearly not the same one. It says I can prove that as well. Still won't give me the photos they showed me because they're a bunch of lying bastards. Police recovered CCTV from Tesco's on the 2nd of October 2014 and used it as evidence to get me charged and to prove a connection between me and Mr. Mackenzie. They also hacked my computer and took photos of somebody that thought was me and Mr. Mackenzie but wasn't. Used that as evidence. I can prove that. Maliciously worded where they took items from because the warrant was illegal. They maliciously abused their powers, which they did. Turns out they found Dan Mackenzie in my flat and told me they found him somewhere else. They also lied about where they found the stuff they took from my property. They said it was in my house, it was in my shed, and when I complained about it, the Crime Prosecution Service changed the evidence against me. My solicitor had a different MG5 to the one I had when I turned up at court. Further, committed perjury, lied in witness statements dated the 5th of October, which was 3 days after they stopped me when they thought they'd caught me with Dan Mackenzie. They hadn't. They have a load of false information held in the computer about me, but they destroyed it all and then had to remake it after I gave a copy of it to Edward Cook, who was paid by the police. I also planted some things on him that have ended up coming back to me from the Crime Prosecution Service. Well done. Mark Colwell swerved at him, called him a drug dealer and threatened to cut my head off. He called me a drug dealer and a burglar because he had access to my PNC record, which is false. Shouldn't have had access to it anyway, and the police did nothing about it. I've still got the device that PC Scott left the message on, tell me not to start fights with people in the street. The reason I went to the police about it was so there was a record of it, and when I did end up smashing his face in because he pissed me off, they could see he started it by antagonising me. He continued to antagonise me and stalk me for a further 18 months. In fact, probably 14 months. Yeah, there we go. More of PC Rollins lies. There you go. 5th of December. While I was being stalked, County Councillor Orson had sent out 500 emails full of lies about me. There you go. Police Sergeant Margiotti was involved in Mackenzie's case, stalking him as well, and yet he was sent to deal with my complaints. My doctor tried to interrogate me, 3rd of February 2015, repeated back to me what I'd said to Charlotte Curtis from Remploy. Also told me the people doing this to me were laughing at me. Who's laughing now? Anytime I went out in the street, Mark Colwell straight on the phone to the police. PC Rawlings was round, 17th of February. 20th of February, they thought they'd bullied me out of Old Dalby. Mark Colwell's and his family are out in the street shouting abuse while there's a police CID car parked across the street with the two people that County Councillor Joe Orson was with when he was stalking me on the 5th of December 2014. There's 5th of May. DC Coleman, they won't give me a recording of the interview we had. Apparently there's no recording. Found Darren McKenzie in my flat. Fucking again. There you go, there's the value. Goods valued at £750, brand new they were £645. Both items were second hand. They're valued about just over £100 each. Not worth nothing. Shouldn't have even gone to court. The only reason I went to court was because they needed to prove a connection with me and Mackenzie in order to be able to legally take him to court because he was found inside my flat. There's who I was with, Stuart McIntosh, who is now being bribed by the police. The police have manipulated my record. More fucking lies. There you go. They just made up a load of shit because they didn't think I could explain how I could afford to drive a van. They actually asked me how I could afford to run a 3-year-old van when it was in fact 13 years old. I didn't think it was a fair assumption. No, the fact that you tried to stitch me up because you couldn't actually ask me how I could afford that rather than just ask me. You stole my identity, went through my bank details and all the rest of it just because you assumed. PC Rawlings was there looking a bit nervous by himself. Looking a bit nervous. He was absolutely crapping himself, back and forth at the toilet, on the phone, off the phone. I had to sit in court all morning waiting for Detective Constable Thresh and PC McGrath to turn up. In here it states PC McGrath turned up in the morning with PC Rawlings. More lies. There you go. Apparently my drugs conviction isn't a drugs conviction when it clearly fucking is. This is a paedophile ring, DC 4242 Coleman. There you go, there's our bribe witness, Hugh McIntosh. That was actually the day I bought a CB500. I've got the receipts from the van hire and everything. I've got Hugh McIntosh's receipt that he got on a plane to Birmingham and that I picked him up. When I got back, he helped me put the bike in the shed, and we actually moved the generator out of the shed, but guess what? He's tried to help the police stitch me up as a paedophile. PC Rawlings turned up, he actually turned up to remove my vehicle because I complained about them They have the wrong driving licence number, which I told them about months before, and they still tried to tow my vehicle away. But apparently PC Rollins was there. I can confirm it was him, but he wasn't there. His two colleagues later came round and told me it was him as well, but there's no record of them. And I was charged that day with 15th of July, failing to report a driver, but there's no record of that either. This is their crime report. I don't really care about it. It's a load of crap. I wasn't there. Believed that somebody blank was believed to store property. This is more bullshit because they arrested Dad McKenzie from inside my flat. "25th of May AM, early hours, out again. 5 PM at old flat on Queensway. Two chaps unloading lots of stuff into my flat. White van, man his grandmother." He doesn't even know me, so how does he know it's me? Was he even there on the 25th of May? Pretty sure he probably wasn't. Maybe I was, I don't know. There you go, Monday 2nd of June. Chap from old flat. How do you know it's his old flat? Bald head, white tee, came down to chat and spent ages chatting. 2nd of June, funnily enough, I was in the north of Scotland. Ha 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 ha. More lies from Mark Colwell. Now, also attached to the crime report is a witness statement by PC Rollins dated 26th of September 14, in which PC Rollins sets out his dealings at on the 11th of June, all of which he recorded by way of body-worn video. Apparently they didn't have any video going through my address, but it says there they do, because they're lying bastards. I'd come across a vehicle full of stolen goods. 4:36 in the morning, showing at 1170 Queensway, and this is the same on voters. That's lies. He's never been on the voters registered because he's never voted. Same as I haven't, because I don't care about lying government pieces of shit. There's the lies about the property they took from me. Red Honda generator. Mine was black. Black air mate compressor, the one that they used to try and convict me, and the one they gave to Stuart Yaxley was apparently red. So there you go. All items were stored at Melton Police Station. Of the Honda GX generator, serial number which is exhibit IPM2. Now, my generator was a black Honda EC2000, it wasn't a GX model, so there you go. It's in my complaints that they were showing me a SDMO generator with a Honda GX engine in it. There are also two colour photographs of exhibit IPM3, a black air mate compressor, serial number, there you go. Yeah, in their evidence they used against me, it's red. There's a PC McGrath. Statement dated 5th of October. Red Honda generator. Black air mate. The warrant was illegal. And they know it. And they also arrested Darren McKenzie from inside my flat, who shouldn't have been there, so he should be getting done with burgling me as well. But there you go. Just think if they'd actually told me he was in my flat. What a different place we'd be in right now. They're also refusing to give me the application for the warrant. They'll just fabricate one anyway. It's a load of crap. DC Thresh was clearly under the impression that the goods recovered had been found in Thompson's flat, but this was quickly corrected by PC Rollins. No, it wasn't. I'll tell you what happened. I said no, they weren't. They were from my shed. PC Rollins sat in the corner, shaking like a shitting dog, crapping himself. He was like shaking his head to her, as if to say, "Don't." She said something she wasn't supposed to say, because he knows fine. He lied. Items taken from my shed, not inside my flat, and it was me that corrected Detective Constable Emmeline Thresh, not PC Rollins. Interviewed me again. They told me I was going to get my things back. They were showing me pictures of black and white pictures and stuff that clearly wasn't mine. I asked PC Rollins where the dent to the top of my fuel tank was, and he said on the other side, which would make it the bottom. It clearly wasn't mine, and after that I just told them I refused to say anything, and all I said to the interview is that generator's not mine. And it turns out he also told me it was one of the items was stolen the day after they broke into my flat, the day after they were taken. I've also got, because I complained about that as well, and put it in my complaint, the Crime Prosecution Service changed the date in the paperwork as well to the 12th. In fact, it was 11th. It's not just the police that are crap, it's the whole justice system. No pocketbook entries. DI 1751, I was repeatedly told he was present when they broke into my flat. Arrest of at 700. Warrant executed at 70. Queensway. Reported for handling stolen goods that weren't mine. I can prove they tried to set me up. And before they even interviewed me, they'd given my things to other people. Oh, look at his past, we'll just stitch him up. Horrible little bastard. You don't even know me. Maybe you should have found out the truth before you started fabricating evidence. Early hours of 11th of June, you're patrolling the area northeast of Melton. Seen a vehicle pull into Queensway Park at the end of the road. Man had run away. Police officers do not have unfettered access to records held on the PNC. Funny that, I can prove that I have a drugs conviction that wasn't a drugs conviction, and I have 2 burglary convictions that were a minor theft conviction. Right, I went to court not guilty, and not only had to fight the police and the Crime Prosecution Service, I had to sit and fight with my own solicitor, who had fabricated evidence because I complained. Crime Prosecution Service changed the evidence against me, and I have the original copy. Well done. Showed the police they basically went in and bribed Tesco's. Told them I was a drug dealing piece of shit that beats women up and paedophile, rapist, all the rest of it. Funnily enough, my witness has been bribed as well. More lies from D.I. Gray. The first was forwarded to Councillor Joe Orson, 17th October 2014. This is one of my stalkers who shouldn't have any access to anything about me. Second email from Councillor Orson was circulated to community contacts on the 22nd of November 2014. Again, he should have nothing about me. There's more lies. It says it's only Mackenzie that was in the paper. I've got the paper thing that says I was charged with similar offences as well. I've also got the newspaper report from Melton Times. Before I even came home, they had me plastered all over the fucking newspaper. I made it look like the stuff that was seized from my address because they arrested Mackenzie from my address, not his own address, because his girlfriend was claiming benefits for her son while he was living there. Oh, and it's me that they're trying to get down with benefit fraud. D.I. and some information was disclosed to him about what was going on. Councillor Orson had a vast number of contacts he could reach, and given the build-up of anger in the village, D.I. needed to reach these people. The anger wasn't towards me though. The only reason anger was towards me is because of these crap pieces of shit. Lying, saying I was involved in shit I wasn't involved in. Oh look, he wasn't present. So why were all your police officers telling me you were present? It's the only way that the warrant would have been, they would have been allowed to legally search my sheds if he was there. And they had reason to. They didn't have reason to. There was nothing in my flat that shouldn't be there, as there was nothing in my sheds that shouldn't be there. There was nothing illegal. The information came from Mark Colwell, who lived people were getting frustrated by the lack of police action, so they tried to pin a load of shit on me. Mark Colwell might have mentioned it in the car, or Darren Mackenzie, or well, I don't know who. Ross Thompson had come from via PC Scott, or via who had contact with PC Scott's grass. PSK would give Mr. Orton details by email about persons who had been arrested or charged, but this would be on a strict instruction that the information was confidentially given to him in his role as a strategic partner and not to be divulged. There you go, gross misconduct. You have no right giving anybody's details to anyone. Officer had gone to Ross Thompson's address. Clearly, I wasn't at home because I was at the other end of the country. I didn't come home till 3 or 4 days later. They do not have a warrant. It was apparent to PSQ that they would need to gain access. Why? Why would you need to gain access when it was Darren Mackenzie you were looking for, who lived at 84 Queensway? Here we go. Entry had to be forced to Ross Thompson's flat. It had been very sparsely furnished, and the officers had looked for keys because they did not want to make a mess of the garage. I don't have a garage. It's a garage at 84 Queensway. There were no suspect stolen items in the flat. Why did you report they were taken from inside my flat then? Oh, that's right, because you're a bunch of lying bastards. Because they could not find any keys, they had unscrewed the hasp and staple lock from the front door. They destroyed one door, unlocked another door with my keys, and because they couldn't figure out which of the keys opened a padlock, they cut a chain in half to remove my black Honda generator. On the left by the wall was a red petrol generator. No, there wasn't. There was a black Honda EC2000 with a white fuel tank that it shouldn't have, because that's not standard, which makes it stick out like a sore thumb. P.S. Keir had no doubt in his mind that the generator was red. Also, was a comparatively new looking black compressor. Again, there you go, more lies. The one they used in court against me was red. Sure, yeah, it actually had a red compressor stolen from him, not a black one. They cut through my chain because they were too brain dead to figure out which of the 6 keys opened the lock. Already having used 4 of them to get into my shed, they couldn't figure out what the last 2 were for. They also lie as well. I'm getting bored of this. Moved into a police van. One of them says they turned up in a van, the other said they turned up in a car. All the stuff went from my address and Mackenzie's address, went in the same van. They found a fuel pump. It's not illegal to own a siphoning device. P.S. Keir understood that it was policy that the police would not pay for any damage caused in securing entry to premises if stolen goods were found at the address. I can prove my items weren't stolen. The reason that you tried to stitch me up is because you didn't want to pay me the compensation for breaking into my flat, because you arrested Darren Mackenzie in there as well. Bunch of lying bastards. Fucking paedophile pieces of shit. There you go. Here's PCQ received a call from the court on the day of my trial, really. Why is Emmeline Thresh wandering in court on 1st April 2015? Can I leave? I'm being accused of perjury. Is he even here? The judge was not happy and would not give the officers more than 20 minutes to sort the matter out. Bullshit. Did not happen. The judge, what happened was, I walked into court, the prosecution explained that Robert Lott was on holiday with his kids in Skegness and he wouldn't be attending. He was aware of the consequences of not appearing at court. They then tried to offer Stuart Yaxley, Ian McGrath, PC Rawlins, DC Thresh as evidence. The judge turns to the prosecution and says, no, you can't just have that. He says, is there anything else I need to know about Mr. Thompson? Prosecution says no. Judge then turns to my solicitor, is there anything else I need to know about Mr. Thompson? My solicitor stood like this, looking at his feet. He ignored the judge. The judge then asked him the same question again, and then, still looking at his feet, he says no. Judge turns to me and says, "Mr. Thompson, you're free to go." He also said, what the judge also said is, the police have got this wrong from the outset. You had a 10-month investigation into this man and you got it wrong from the outset. That's what was said in court by the judge. Not all this crap. Because they're all going to get sacked. PSQ could remember recovering a digital camera in Mr. Thompson's flat. His recollection was that all the photographs of the motorbikes but the camera had been given to DC Fresh. Now, I didn't figure out for a while that they actually hacked my computer, set up webcams in my house and all sorts of shit, but there you go, there's more lies. I was also stopped for driving a white van. They've hacked all the police computers and changed all the... They can change everything, which is why everything's on the computer system. Operation Bullshit, there's no such thing. I was stopped because they were tracking me via my phone. PSQ here was clear that Inspector Gray had not been anywhere near their address. They've been stored near to each other, oh really? Same van. Look, here you go. PC Brian slated in and PCSO Tom French. Tom French, you were with PC Rollins several times when he was stalking me. February when I was loading my van with fucking scrap to take it to the scrapyard. I was told I'd get my stuff back if Mr. Mackenzie's DNA wasn't on it, which it wasn't, because why would it be? 6th August when I was being interviewed, they were also he was mocking me because he thought I was scared of Mark Colwell. As previously in this video, I don't give a flying fuck for Mark Colwell, he's a spineless little maggot. He actually ran away. He swerved at me in his car, gets out of his car, starts mouthing. I ignored him for about 30 seconds. He then keeps mouthing and mouthing. I turned around, went to walk over to speak to him, and he ran away and hid like a little girl. The next day I went to the police station to report it, and guess what? There's no record of it. Police should not allow to correct what mistake? I was in court for all of what, 2 minutes, 3 minutes? Before the judge realised you're a bunch of lying bastards? The mistake had not been spotted by PC Rollins or by PC. Really?